Let's continue our discussion on why we know the writers of the four Gospels told the truth. In the last video, I presented an overview of the 10 points and point 1 in detail from Geisler and Turek's book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Here, I will pick up with point 2. The New Testament writers include embarrassing details and difficult sayings of Jesus. They are also honest about Jesus. Not only do they record self-incriminating details about themselves, they also record embarrassing details about their leader, Jesus, that seems to place him in a bad light. Jesus is considered out of his mind by his mother and brothers and his own family, who come to seize him in order to take him home, according to Mark 3:21-31. Next, it's not believed by his own brothers in John 7:5. He is thought to be a deceiver in John 7:12. He is deserted by many of his followers in John 6:66. He turns off the Jews who had believed in him in John 8:30-31, to the point that they want to stone him in verse 59. He is called a drunkard in Matthew 11:19. He is called a demon-possessed man in Mark 3:22 and in 2 chapters of John. He is called a madman in John 10 and verse 20. He has his feet wiped with the hair of a prostitute, an event that had the potential to be perceived as a sexual advance in Luke 7:36-39. He is crucified by the Jews and Romans. The fact that anyone who is hung on a tree is under God's curse, according to Deuteronomy 21 and Galatians 3. This is certainly not a list of events and qualities the New Testament writers would choose if they were trying to depict Jesus as the perfect, sinless God-man. In addition to embarrassing details, there are several difficult sayings attributed to Jesus that the New Testament writers would not have included if they were making up a story about Jesus being God. For example, according to the New Testament, Jesus declares, quote, "The Father is greater than I," in John 14:28. That seems to predict incorrectly that he's coming back to earth within a generation, Matthew 24:34. Then says about his second coming that no one knows the time, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, in Matthew 24:36. He seems to deny his deity by asking the rich young ruler, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone," in Luke 18:19. He is seen as cursing a fig tree for not having figs when it wasn't even the season for figs, in Matthew 21:18. He seems unable to do miracles in his hometown except to heal a few sick people. If the New Testament writers wanted to prove to everyone that Jesus was God, then why did they leave in those difficult sayings? While there are reasonable explanations for these difficult sayings, it doesn't make sense that the New Testament writers would leave them in if they were trying to pass off a lie as the truth. In fact, it doesn't make sense that they would make up a character anything like Jesus, a weak and dying man.